When it comes to the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi, a lot of people think of Sir Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor, and a lot of people are wondering about his involvement in Star Wars Episode 9 by J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, a lot of people have been wondering exactly what will J.J. Abrams be doing when it comes to certain cameos in Star Wars Episode 9. Something that is truly a thing in the Disney-era movies. If you look at both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, we had Luke Skywalker and Yoda. If you look at Solo: A Star Wars Story and Rogue One, we had Darth Vader and Darth Maul. So now with Star Wars Episode 9, with a lot of twists and turns coming our way and a lot of surprises that will shock a lot of fans out there, a lot of people are wondering about all the cameos to come. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the scene schedules, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which specifically has all to do with Rey, R2-D2, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's Force Ghost. Specifically, a description of Rey inside of a cave that is similar to the first Jedi Temple cave on Ahch-To. She is with R2-D2 and wears a black cloak. In front of her is an Obi-Wan figure that is a mix between both old and young. It is described as a Force Ghost with a traditional blue hue and transparency. However, this Obi-Wan appears different. The next one goes over the Obi-Wan figure going closer to Rey, and resting his hand on her shoulder. The Obi-Wan ghost looks down at R2-D2 and gives him a smile, where the last goes over the figure talking to Rey directly. Could this be what we heard with Obi-Wan's voice in The Force Awakens, that we are now seeing in Star Wars Episode 9? And this is a very interesting point that I do want to bring up. Now, in The Force Awakens, we do hear Obi-Wan's voice telling Rey, these are your first steps. Now, was that actually told to Rey at a young age? Or is that a voice that we were actually hearing of what was going to be told to Rey at some point in time in the future? Now, would it make sense to hear a line like that by the time Episode 9 comes around, where he says these are your first steps, where really her first steps were in The Last Jedi and or The Force Awakens? So, looking at Episode 9 specifically, we actually heard about this before by the Weekly Planet a couple of months ago, that both Disney and Lucasfilm were toying around with the idea of implementing Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi Force Ghosts being a big surprise in Episode 9, and honestly, it would really be the best way to connect all 9 movies into one big movie and to really borrow a lot of prequel trilogy continuity elements in there. So with that being said, I want to look at this whole old and young concept of Obi-Wan. Now, this is something that I think is going to be quite controversial if it does end up in the final cut of the movie. Now, there was a sequence that Abrams wanted to do with The Force Awakens with Anakin, where he would be a hybrid Force Ghost, a mixture of both Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker. Now it seems like they're trying to do something like that with Obi-Wan Kenobi, by of course mixing both old and young, a mixture of both Ewan McGregor's version and Sir Alec Guinness. Now, with that being said, is that a good or a bad idea if that actually does happen in Episode 9? Now, I don't know about you guys, I'm all up for creativity and I'm all up for something new and different, but when it comes to an iconic character like Obi-Wan, I feel that what they have to do is they really have to stick to the classic Obi-Wan as seen in the original trilogy, the Sir Alec Guinness version. Now, how could they do this? Well, they could absolutely do this with CGI. They could somehow cut and paste him and add in new dialogue by a voice actor who can really pull off, Alec's voice very well. So with that being said, with Episode 9, is there a connection between both Obi-Wan and Rey? We've been talking about this forever, right? On whether or not Rey is a descendant of a Kenobi. And this is a huge possibility because I really do believe that there is a great, significant reason as to why JJ inserted the Obi-Wan Kenobi voice in Episode 7. We do know that he dragged Ewan McGregor, right, into studio. He called him up, he said, come in, do a line for today, we want you in the movie. They wanted him in there for a reason. I don't believe they just wanted to get his voice in there just for the heck of it. Because in that flashback scene, yes, you do hear Yoda saying, "It's energy, it's energy." That's a moment in the past. You do hear Luke Skywalker scream. That's also a moment in the past, as well as Darth Vader's breathing. You hear all these different voices. But at the very end, you hear Obi-Wan's voice. Dialogue that we have never heard before, where he says, "Rey, these are your first steps." He's talking directly to Rey. Why is he talking to Rey? So I think that there's a definite reason as to why JJ did that, and that's going to be explained in episode 9, and that could very well be this sequence in which she actually runs into the Force Ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.